As you guys know, I like to provide variety in the type of content and the type of pregame, weekly football content that I bring you here. So what I wanted to do this week was something interesting, something that really hasn't been done on this channel before, and that is try my hand at an actual debate. Please let me know what you guys think of this. And also, before this debate starts, please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell so you can be notified. Gonna be a ton of content coming out, so make sure you don't miss it by hitting that subscribe button and being notified. Without further ado, let's play the debate. I brought in one of the most respected names on all of Ravens Twitter and Ravens YouTube, Sip to Tally Films. I also have a special guest moderator. I'm going to introduce that moderator first. Jake, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Quincy? Thanks for having me.
Jake, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Look Good, Feel Good Sports on YouTube. That's LGFG Sports. And yeah.
All right. And then, Coach, introduce yourself to the audience.
I'm Coach Evans with Sip to Tally Films, Ravens YouTuber, and you can find me at Sip to Tally Films on YouTube and IG as well.
And, I brought on Jake here to be kind of the moderator because in his channel, he judges sports uniforms. So why not judge an argument? Like, that translates, right?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, sports is sports, man.
So, Jake, actually, I want you to move us into the first topic. Let's get this debate going. I'm excited.
All right, you got it. All right, guys. So this is about the Browns-Ravens matchup. All right, first question is about the better roster between the Browns and the Ravens. Quincy, you'll go first. You got 2 minutes on the clock.
All right. So when people look at this and they're going to say this is a crazy argument for me to think that the Browns have a better roster than the Ravens because the Ravens went 14-2 last year. The Ravens have the reigning MVP. The Ravens have the best player. But the Browns have the better roster because if you look at the talent all across the board offensively, we have things that aren't rare. Like if this weren't the Browns' name attached to this, we would be talking about this more because what they have is a lot special. But since the Browns disappointed last year, we don't talk about it. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. You got 3 guys on this offense who have led their respective categories as the best player in their respective categories, all sharing the field together. You look at the offensive line, Jedrick Wills, one of the better offensive line prospects. Shout out to Vach. Also, we got Joe Batonio. We also got J.C. Treader, who's been a really solid center. At right guard, you got Wyatt Teller, who, he's Wyatt Teller. He's a right guard. Every offensive line has that one piece. But then you follow that up with Jack Conklin. I haven't even mentioned Austin Hooper, Harrison Bryant. David Njoku's there as like a pocket change. Like you might be able to get something out of there. And I think as the Ravens have the best offensive player on the field, probably the best offensive player in football, I'll give him that respect. The Browns probably got the best defensive player in the AFC North, in my opinion, in Myles Garrett. Now, the rest of that defense, I ain't going to lie. There's some holes in there. But when it comes to Denzel Ward, there's some talent there. Greedy Williams, always some upside. Terrence Mitchell, a really underrated guy. And, even with trading for like a Ronnie Harrison, who's not going to light the Ravens up, but have himself a nice little solid season. And then, Sheldon Richardson, Larry Ogunjobi, those aren't terrible pieces to complement it. But, I think overall the star power and the ability on offense is what puts this Browns team over the top as the best roster in the AFC North. Are they the best team? We'll see. That's what the game on Sunday is about. But if we're talking rosters, I think it's clear that the Browns have the best roster.
All right, Coach, you're next.
So with all that being said, I'm going to simply say you guys are top heavy and you have to have a complete roster, the full 53. So some of those things I'm not going to argue with you on that as far as Landry and Odell and Chubb and Hunt, but I broke it down in a positional thing. And then I'll finish with which roster I think is best, Ravens. So quarterback, obviously we have the better quarterback. I don't think anybody can debate that. Running back, you guys have Chubb and Hunt. What they've done in the past 2 to 3 years can't be denied. And I'm going to say you guys have the better running back core, but we have 3 guys that are going to be sufficient. You guys have I couldn't even recall your third guy, but because you're top heavy with those 2, I gave you guys the running back category. As far as O-line, I think we take the O-line. We got the bookend tackles that are probably, going to be all pro and Pro Bowl for years to come. We got Fluker, who's been known to be a dog. He kind of don't do well in pass rush. Then we got Bozeman, who's back, played solid, played a lot better than I thought last year. and Macari or Screw, whichever one plays, because Screw had the injury, I think we're good there. So I think we have O-line. Wide receiver, y'all got it. No need for me to even indulge on that, because I still think Odell is a top 5 wide receiver. He just didn't get the targets that other guys got. I still think that about Odell. Tight ends. We have the best tight end of both groups, but you guys have depth at tight end. You got Njoku, you got Hooper, and you got the new guy from FAU, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you guys a tight end. D-line, you do have the best defensive lineman probably in the AFC. Probably. Potentially. But we got more depth than you guys with Calais, Wolf, and other guys. So I gave us D-line. Linebackers, I gave a push. I got a push. I can show you my papers, a line straight through, because we got young linebackers, and you have guys that ain't really known. So I gave a push there. And then secondary, which I think makes us have the better roster, our secondary is top notch, even with the loss of Earl Thomas, because we got 4 guys that play corner that could probably start on most other teams. Even though I do like Ward and what's the other guy, and Greedy, and I like Red Wine also because he's from the U. I'm a Miami fan, so I got double dose going tonight. But I think we have the better roster for those reasons.
All right, sounds good. Good answers by both. All right, second question. So the Ravens D coming in hungry. They're also a little young. Do you think their youth is going to cost them in week 1? Quincy, we'll go with you first.
Oh, we go with Coach first on that one.
All right. Take it away.
And when I saw that, we're really young only at 2 positions. We're young at middle linebacker because Queen's probably going to start, and we're young at strong safety because of the Earl Thomas situation. And he's not a rookie. The Joker's not a rookie. He just hadn't had a lot of snaps for injuries and the fact that he's been behind the All-Pro. So do I think it's going to cost us? No, I don't. But if it does cost us, there are 2 position groups on the Browns teams that can hurt us. That's Hunt catching balls out of the backfield because Queen or the Joker's going to have to defend him, and tight ends catching the balls because those same 2 positions guard those same 2 positions in passing situations. So if youth hurts us, it's going to be Hunt catching the ball at the backfield because I hadn't seen Chubb do it a lot. Or it's going to be Njoku or Hooper or whoever your tight end is catching balls on Elliott.
Right. So what I'll say in response to that is we talk about that game week 4 last year, right? And the big numbers, everything everybody talks about, right? Jarvis Landry, oh my God, 100+ yards. Nick Chubb, 100+ yards. The thing I don't think people remember about that game that opened it up, the thing that actually got the Browns the first touchdown in that game was Ricky Seals-Jones, the tight end. He had 3 receptions, over 80 yards, a touchdown. Like, he had a good day against the Ravens. What I think is going to happen and what I hope to happen as a Browns fan, just being biased, is that that's somewhere that you can kind of poke at. And with those 2 spots, free safety and that linebacking position, just on that one side, with Queen being inexperienced, with this team running a lot of play action, I see the opportunity there. Because I think what happened last year wasn't that Jarvis had a big day on his own or Nick Chubb had a big day on his own. I think it's that the tight ends were able to get loose against Baltimore last year, which softened up everything within the box, which allowed Nick Chubb to be able to get the edge a little bit more often, which allowed, Jarvis to be able to break some of these contains that he had and be able to get a lot of yak on those plays last year. So that's going to be a major key. And with the Browns kind of doubling up, reinforcing that tight end position, right? Getting Austin Hooper in free agency, drafting Harrison Bryant, doing whatever they're going to do with David Njoku. Like, these are 3 guys who would have started at tight end 1 last year if the Ravens would have played them in week 4. And they weren't even active last year. You know what I mean? So, like, now the Browns have that depth at tight end to be able to open it up, which is going to do wonders for everything else if they can get it open. We haven't mentioned that Kareem Hunt's going to be active this game, wasn't active week 4. That's going to be something coming out the backfield, and they gave him that extra money to make sure that he's okay taking those receiving touches. So it's going to be something that is key. Like, I think if the Browns can take advantage of that inexperience, and if that inexperience is something that hurts the Ravens with, Deshaun Elliott playing like 4 or 5 games so far in his career, not seeing a ton of snaps, play action's going to be a killer. Patrick Queen, rookie linebacker, like, you got to expect he's going to get caught off guard on one of these play actions here or there. I think that's going to be a hole that they can exploit. And if they can exploit that, this offense is going to be able to do what they can do. And with that power, that top-heavy power, as Coach says, that they have on that offense, that could ultimately be something that is deadly to him, because everywhere else on this Ravens defense is built like Fort Knox. Best secondary in the NFL, in my opinion. Best interior defensive line in the NFL, in my opinion. Derek Wolfe, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams on the inside. Brandon Williams, all three of those guys did not play last year when the Browns killed them in the run. Yeah. So those three guys being there, that's going to be a big deal. The Browns ain't going to be able to just run all day.
That was the first fight with Earl Thomas.
Yeah, that was the first fight with Brandon Williams fighting Earl Thomas in the locker room because Earl was mad that Brandon didn't play. It set off a lot of alarms because also Earl Thomas, shout out to him, pulled his hammy on that run when Nick Chubb went for 80. So your man was running at 23 miles per hour. I don't know what you're going to do to catch it. But anyways, I'm saying all of that can open up. And last year, it was dangerous when all that can open up because Nick Chubb was so good, Jarvis Landry is so good. This year, the weapons are double. And if that opens up, that might be a hole that they're not going to be able to close in due time.
All right. Nice job. All right. So we're going to move to offense. So Ravens offense, reigning MVP, ramped up and healthy run game. Do you think that the Ravens offense is going to overpower the Browns in week 1?
I think the key is the play of the center and the right guard. Whoever starts at center and right guard, if they can, I don't want to say match what Yonder can do, but if they can control that BC gap, I think there's potential for us to technically run away with the game. Because if you let us just pound you for 4, 5, 6 yards, you may get 1 or 2 possessions a quarter because we love to keep the ball for time possession. So whoever, I don't know whether it be Open Joby or whoever you guys have at 1 and 3 tech, if they get moved constantly, it could potentially be a long night. But it depends on who plays those 2 positions for us. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be Stanley and Myles Garrett all night long. That battle can go, tit for tat both ways. Both of those guys are all pros. Now, whoever the other defensive end is against Orlando, I think Orlando has the advantage in the run game, and whoever the defensive end may have it in the pass game because Orlando is, he's a better run blocker. So that's what I'm saying. The key is that right guard and center. If they move your 1 tech or move your 3 tech, it could be a long night for the Cleveland Browns.
All right. Quincy, response?
Yeah, so I'm going to start my response with a question for Coach, because I've asked this to all the guys I know that watch the Ravens. With Marshall Yanda not being there anymore, right, that Hall of Fame right guard to kind of help out with Orlando Brown, do you think that's going to be an issue for Orlando Brown?
That's a good question. And I think I heard you ask this earlier. And I have a similar answer to what I heard given earlier. If this was Orlando's first or second year, maybe. Orlando's been in there, and you can just from him talking in interviews and stuff, you can tell his confidence has grown. His swag, his demeanor, his chest is out some. So he ain't necessarily got to rely on Yonder to cover him. He's his own man now. He's going to be the one, in my opinion, helping whoever the right guard is, especially if it ends up being a rookie. Mm-hmm. Especially if it ends up being Tyreek. So I don't think losing Yonder is going to hurt Orlando because Orlando got 2 years with Yonder and learned how to be a pro, so to speak, to learn how to go about his business. And I think he's coming into his own as a individual, by himself.
Now, I only say that because one of my things about Orlando Brown, one of the reasons I felt like he dropped in the draft, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I felt like feet were an issue with Orlando Brown. Big size, decent athlete, just the feet were kind of bad. And I'm wondering if Marshall Yanda being next to him, if you have a Hall of Fame right guard next to you, your feet ain't going to be that much of a problem because you can cheat a little bit if Myles Garrett is on that side because Myles Garrett ain't going to rip and turn inside towards Marshall Yanda. You know that's not going to happen. You can protect yourself that way. Now he's got winner at the end of training camp week 4 help on the inside. That means to me that if I'm the Browns, quite honestly, you move Myles Garrett onto that right side a lot of the game. And I think that can be the biggest problem for the Ravens offensive line is if Myles Garrett's allowed to move around because there's not that elite help there to kind of shut that down. And if he's able to get loose and get in the backfield and make a difference in this game, that's going to be the only thing. And I repeat this, the absolute only thing this Browns defense is going to be able to do against the Ravens. No. Linebackers are going to get killed by the tight ends all day. The corners, that's going to be whatever with the wide receivers, but the tight ends is really where the Ravens do their bread and butter. they're going to murder our linebackers in the pass. Like, that's going to be what it is. Run, y'all going to get whatever y'all want in the run. But the only way the Browns have a chance to stop this Ravens offense is if Myles Garrett can have a big day or to get loose. And the way, and I see the structure in place in order for him to do it with Orlando Brown being out there. Like, let's look at Myles Garrett and what Myles Garrett does the best and who he performs the best against. A guy like Andrew Villanueva, who is a really big tackle, tall guy. You know, he has decent feet, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. Myles can bend underneath him all day. Like, he takes advantage of that guy who's an all-pro. It makes him look bad at times. That's what Myles is kind of primed to do. If I'm the Browns, you can lose that battle. Olivier Vernon, put him with Ronnie Stanley. Let Ronnie win that battle on the left side. Let Myles win on the right side. And if they do that and Myles is able to get loose, get in the backfield, get a couple sacks, push the Ravens back into third and longs, second and longs, then you get this Ravens offense out of rhythm. You get them out of sync. And one thing I learned last year, when that Ravens offense is in sync, they're the most unstoppable thing in the NFL. It's like watching an avalanche go downhill at like a 0-degree angle. You can't stop it. It's only going to kill you. So the way you stop them from gaining momentum is slow them down. Don't let them get into that rhythm. Don't let them get into, run, play action, fake, RPO down the middle, wide open, Mark Andrews, 40 yards, boom, hit Marquise here. Like, once they get into that rhythm, they're unstoppable. They can break that rhythm. That's the only chance you got. And the Browns, the best player they have on defense is the only guy who's in a position to be able to break that rhythm. So while I think the Ravens offense definitely going to do their thing, they're going to get points. I think the Browns do have an opportunity, as not great as I think they are defensively, to be able to disrupt the rhythm of the Ravens, which is going to be key when getting those stops. Oh, you just need a key stop here and there. You're not going to shut them out the end zone. Just get a couple key stops.
Right. To finish this point off, I can actually read you what I wrote. I said, we can simply negate Myles Garrett by making him the read guy. Because I don't, that's everything we can block him. Making him the read guy and making him wrong on all our zone reads or power reads, whatever we do in the read game. And so if we get the run game going, like you said earlier, play action is going to be uber deadly.
Right. Good points by both. We got to move on. So last question, plain and simple. Why is your team going to win? Coach?
Few reasons. Time of possession. Keep OBJ, Hunt, Baker, Landry, Chubb. Keep all them guys on the sideline. And most of the time we win time possession, we pretty much control the game. So that's going to be key. Don't turn the ball over at time possession. Limit the pass catchers. So when they catch balls, which I know they are, get them down. Don't let Landry get a ton of yak. You can't let Odell get a ton of yak because he can turn into 6. Njoku or whoever starts for your tight end, when they catch it, get them down right there. Limit their yak. And get heat on Baker without blitzing.
All right. Quincy?
All right, so the Browns, I am predicting the Browns to win this game. The main few reasons I have are, one, I do think Myles is going to be able to be a little bit more disruptive than he was last year, and he wasn't undisruptive last year, but I think he's going to be able to do a little bit more that's going to pop out on the stat sheet again in a more favorable situation. I also think the Browns' strengths, everybody thinks about running the ball, but this offense is going to be a strength. I think they're really aiming for that tight end connection, that play action pass to be a strength. Again, Baker Mayfield, one of the things I'll say about Baker Mayfield, everybody acts like they don't know what happened with Baker Mayfield last year. Everybody acts like there's not tangible statistical proof of what's wrong with Baker Mayfield and what went right with Baker Mayfield that first year. Baker Mayfield needs to be under 35 pass attempts. When Baker Mayfield's under 35 pass attempts, he's 10-6. He throws 26 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. When he's have to throw over 35 pass attempts, that's when he throws 23 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, and is just one of the worst quarterbacks in the league with a 3-11 record. Like, that's when you get bad Baker Mayfield. Last year, that offense put him in position to be bad Baker Mayfield. The only game where they didn't put him in position to be bad Baker Mayfield was week 4 against Baltimore. He played well. Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback when you put him in the right situations, when you don't ask him to do too much, when you ask him to rely on his tight ends, when you ask him to rely on the guys who can get the ball, get that yak, like Coach is saying. And with tackling, not going to be good this season at the start of it, because we know that for a fact. There's one law of football that we know is true. Everybody's trying to predict what the shortened offseason is going to mean and who's going to start out slow. One thing we know about football, less practice time, worse tackling. We know that's going to be a fact. So for a team,
more scoring early.
Yep. And for a team that has so many guys who are absolutely dangerous if you don't wrap them up. Like we talked about the running backs, Austin Hooper's one of the best yak tight ends in the NFL. And then you also have Jarvis and Odell at the beginning of the season. Jarvis is honestly one of the most underrated yak receivers, I think, in the NFL because he's so dangerous with the ball in his hand, almost more than Odell because Jarvis can actually break some tackles. So with that many guys who are that dangerous with the ball in their hands with this kind of circumstance, I think that's going to give the Browns offense an advantage. The fact that the defense might be able to have it safe and grace and Myles Garrett, that's huge, right? Because if Myles don't play that game or if Myles takes limited snaps, it's over. Like the Browns don't have a shot. Myles gives them a shot defensively. So I think all of those things kind of add up into something that's going to be positive for the Browns and something that will give them a slight edge. Now, this can be negated early on. Like something stupid can happen. The player can get ejected. That can all be negated. But I think as we stand, starting rosters going in, I think the Browns have the advantage for some, logistical football reasons that might be able to catch Baltimore off guard at this point in the season.
All right. Good points by both. I'm conflicted. I can't even tell who's going to win now. Good job.
If you want to know who's going to win, I want to leave that up to the comment section. So leave your thoughts down below. Ravens fans, Browns fans, this was a stimulating football conversation, one you're not going to get on some other network. So make sure you leave your thoughts down below of who you thought won, who you thought made the best points and the clearest points. So that way we can know a winner. I want to make sure I thank Coach for coming on. Coach, thank you for coming on. This is a great conversation we had here.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Jake, thank you for coming in to be the moderator. I think you did a great job. You might have to be the moderator for this series going forward.
Happy to do so. Happy to be a part of it. Thanks for having me.
But again, guys, I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being subscribed. Also, make sure y'all hit that notification bell because y'all like this. Y'all going to like a lot of what's on this channel. So make sure y'all subscribe, be notified, and make sure you're subscribed to Coach. Make sure you're subscribed to Look Good, Feel Good. Make sure you're subscribed to all of them because they all put out very solid content. But again, guys, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.